This hike took us 9 hours to complete. It had been a couple of weeks since I started working at a milk powder packaging company. The work wasn't too bad, but I hoped to earn more. Not wanting to miss out any more hangouts with friends, I decided to join my new friends for a hike that weekend.
Yay!
The plan was to ascend via the Avalanche Peak route and descend via Scott's route. I estimated the hike would take 9 to 10 hours, as the website mentioned 3 to 4 hours to the summit. I was curious to see how it would compare to the Tongariro Alpine crossing. When we arrived at Arthur's Pass village, we had a brief encounter with a Kia, the Alpine parrot. I did not manage to capture any photos in time.
Step by step. Okay, everyone okay?
The landscape gradually transformed as we approached the summit. first 1.5 hours of the trek were fairly manageable, with only occasional steep sections. After that, the hike became more challenging as we tackled steeper terrains and eventually snow.
Submit, yo.
Not that one.
Close enough.
Standing at the summit felt like being on top of the world. The view of the surrounding mountains ranges was absolutely breathtaking.
Woohoo!
We took a break to enjoy lunch at the peak. After snapping more photos and videos, we began our descent via Scott's route. Thankfully, it wasn't as steep as the Avalanche Peak route. The views on the way down were just as stunning.
Look at me!
To go down to here. So was it worth it? Or was it even better than the Tongariro Alpine crossing? Thank you, Ken, for driving us around Lake Tekapo and Lake Pukaki in search of the best spots to see lupin flowers.
Wearing my glasses, you know.
Lupin season at Lake Tekapo in New Zealand runs from mid-November to early January, with the peak bloom occurring between late November and mid-December, which is around the same time as the cherry harvest season. I couldn't secure a spot at Cherry Pack House due to the high competition, and I didn't want to take the risk of a walk-in interview. So I decided to stay in Christchurch instead. We had a quick lunch at the Better, enjoying their crispy squid and fish and chips. The lake view was so peaceful and tranquil, with Mount Cook visible in the distance. I had to switch jobs to become a production worker at Vortis because my previous job had a 3-week Christmas break and I needed income, so I decided to move on. At Vortis, I work a 4 days on, 4 days off schedule, alternating between 2-day shifts and 2 night shifts, each shift lasting 12 hours.
Alright. Stop. Yeah, you go behind me. You're going to try to go to the off, and if you fall, you're going to fall on top.
The pay was slightly better, but the work was extremely labor intensive and the schedule was tough to manage. After doing some calculations, I realized it still wasn't enough to afford a South Island road trip. Thankfully, the most generous and my favorite kiwi fruit pack house manager Jesse offered me the opportunity to return for a second season. Without hesitation, I agreed. I then convinced my dad to fly over to Christchurch so we could do a South Island road trip together before I headed back to the Bay of Plenty. South Island road trip videos coming up next. Stay tuned for more.